What is going on, everyone? Happy Monday. We are back at it with another episode of My Funded TV. This is the show brought to you by MyFundedFutures, not only to make you a better trader and investor, but also to build some community, answer your questions about prop, give you ideas, chart setups, education, and the list goes on and on and on. I want to start hot today. We're just coming in rolling. I want to ask everyone in the chat, if you have a position on, put a 1. If you don't have a position on, put a 2. I want to see where everyone's at. Is anybody taking some early action this Monday? We were chatting behind before the stream today in our little prep sessions. We work hard for you in order to get ready, and we spend at least an hour preparing every single morning and talking together and figuring out what we're going to cover for the day. But when we were doing so, we were talking about it might be a tougher week to find trades in the first couple days. So I want to see, did any of you figure it out? Do you have positions on? Again, if you have a trade on, put a 1 in the chat. If not, put a 2. And we want to take a peek at it. With that, I'll give you a little bit of preview of what we have. We're going to start today by looking at ES and NQ. We're going to talk to Bull Barbie and Mr. VPE Forrest and get their takes on those two instruments. After that, we're going to hit into the most interesting chart of the day. Every single day, we give you the most interesting chart. We've got resets. If we can get to 600 live viewers before the open, I've got some free resets for you all. And then we're going to dive into your questions. So with that, Forrest, Barbie, what is going on? Let's bring you on with us.
How is everyone?
Good morning.
And Terri.
Hey, Terri.
Good morning.
Morning. Forrest, how was the webinar?
It was good. It was good. We had some great attendance. If you missed it, the recording is in my Discord, but I will be doing more, probably like either every other week or once a month. Haven't decided yet. But yeah, we had 36 people hop on and learn about volume profile for an hour. It was great. We ran over. We did like an hour and 15 minutes. So yeah, if you have FOMO, I will set up another one eventually.
Woo. And Barbie, how's the farm?
It's a little wild as always. There's only one chicken in the house right now though. So the rest
You
of them
have
are all where they're
chickens?
supposed to be. Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's always one random one that seems like getting doctored up. So
Wait, what do you mean doctored up the chicken?
well, they get sick. They're fragile little things, and so they will actually kill each other. When one's sick, they'll go attack that one, and that one is no more. So she's in the house recovering. Hopefully I can put her back out.
But Terri, is this shocking information to you? Because I had no idea.
It's a little shocking, but I've heard you say reference your place as the ranch. So I'm not completely.
There's no horses in the house right now. So
that's shocking. So do you like eat the eggs that the chickens lay?
We get at least half a dozen eggs a day. It's usually more like 9 or 10. So he's hungry.
The chickens too?
No, because they have names. Other people do, because a lot of them are dual purpose, but no, not when we've hung out with them for 5 or 6 years and they have names.
Yeah. I did watch that VPE overview for us. It was really good. The one that you just released.
Oh, the top down video?
Yeah.
On my YouTube channel that everybody should go watch. Thanks, Terri.
Yes, it was very good. It was very informative, answered questions that I had, and the visuals, like that was super helpful too.
Trying to level it up. I got that from Riz, actually, is here filming, and he's doing a top down shot for his new show. So borrowed that concept from him. But that was good.
And Terri,
yes.
Is it still cold where you live, or is it summertime now?
It's warming up. Yeah, it's nice. There were a few days we were in the 80s and it felt like summer. And now we dipped down to like 50s, 60s, but it feels so nice. I have short sleeves on. We made it through another winter. Our winters are brutal, like so much snow. What
It's
about
already been 100 here.
holy smokes? You'll have to come up north for the summer.
Only in the summer. Only in the summer.
Yeah. Luke,
I'm
how
not-
was your weekend?
It was great. I had a great weekend. I went fishing for the first time.
Really?
And I'm getting married in 12 days.
Ooh.
Countdown.
It's like getting to the fun stuff. Like I'm working on firework shows and like those sorts of things now. I just hired a face painter this weekend. I hired a Dippin' Dots cart. So like I'm building my carnival.
That's
There you
cool.
go.
Yes.
There you go.
That's super cool. I've never been to a wedding where they had face painting. It sounds very memorable.
It could be your chance. Everyone's welcome.
Let's go to the wedding, you
Yeah, we're
guys.
crashing the
All
wedding.
of us will
12
show
days.
up.
How actually surprised would you be if a van just rolled up and we just all four hop? I guess the three of us
Hilarious.
hop out the freaking van and just-
I mean, I think we should.
It'll be fun. We could stream from there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wedding crashers too.
live trading from the wedding.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. How about charts?
Oh, charts. We're doing that today?
I don't know. It's a
We're doing
Monday.
charts
Do
today?
we even need to? I mean, we've already been on for 6 minutes. I think that's good for a Monday. No. All right, Barbie, you start.
Okay. Well, we can look at some charts. Well, actually, real quick, before we go, are we going to charts? There we are. I was going to say real quick before we go to chart, I wanted to point out one thing that I'm always taking the week into context, right? So here's the data context for the week. This is a very quiet calendar. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's no high impact news scheduled. That's not to say that Trump couldn't come on and tweet something or whatever, but that is the current situation. So now back to the chart. I just drew something up here accidentally. Oh, well, we have some decoration. I'm not taking that off right now. I wanted to point out on this chart before we get into the actual levels, kind of where we are. I always like to take a look at this, especially on Monday morning. So here's where our week was last week in here. And when I zoom out and look left, that's always really, really important. I can see above us, we did a lot of trading up here. And then below us, we had a fair amount of trading right here. So we are kind of in the middle of some zones. I don't care what you want to call them, support and resistance, levels, zones, whatever. We're between, I'm sure volume profile will have some nodes up here, but we're between some significant trading. So the question is kind of, if we're in this environment of not having a lot of high impact stuff coming, and we're kind of in the middle of this range, are we going to stay in that range? So that's kind of where I've based a lot of my ideas for at least opening up the week. So here is our pre-market in the blue here. You can tell we moved down, and we'll probably be talking about this more later too, because we had the credit downgrading, but that was this initial move lower. And then we've kind of been continuing to move down in the pre-market. So the levels that I'm going to be watching, we have the high from pre-market, and that's up at 59.48 on ES. And you'll probably want to take note of that on ES too, because that'll be kind of the upper level to break if we're kind of going to be, if we start doing a walk up and start going into a squeeze, that's going to be a major trigger up there, because that's where somebody's going to have their stop losses if they're short and enjoying this, right? So the other level that I'm really watching overhead of us is the 59.40, and I've designated it as a magnet level because I think it's one that we could definitely revisit. And then we have kind of this consolidation, or, this is like a zone range that we'd visited a lot last week. So I marked that from 59.17 up to 59.25. And right now we're trading below that. So if I'm looking at something where we're going to start climbing higher, I'm going to look at it kind of zone to zone. First, we have to claim this zone. Then we have to claim that zone. Then we are going to be breaking that level. So that's kind of where I am right now. Then we're coming down to this 5,900 full century figure. And below that, this is kind of the next most important level in my opinion, for this morning session is this 58.70 to 58.85. We can call it the 50. I'm going to call it the 58.80 since it's a zone. I'm just going to kind of pick that whole number in the middle there. I think the 58.80 is going to be really important, and I'd marked it as volume profile because we've got some. There was a VPOC there, and a lot of things that I was watching kind of on the volume profile chart, but to bring this whole thought together where all these little levels are from 59.40 down to 58.80, this is what I'm seeing is most likely to kind of be our range for the day. So if I'm going to kind of look at it from this is where I'm looking for a range to form basically, and it might end up forming a little bit lower or a little bit higher, but this is the area that I'm watching to form a range. So if we don't have a breakout trade, and this would be kind of like how Forrest looks at edges, I'm just basically looking at that as the high of the range and the low of the range, and can we potentially play inside of there. So if we break out of the range again, so that was 58.80 up to 59.40. So it's a nice big range.
59.40, right?
That's a nice big range. But if we break out higher, I'll do the bullish kind of scenario first. If we break out higher, I'm looking for the overnight low up there at 59.48. And then I would be looking for us to either walk up kind of like we did on Friday, or it might be kind of a choppy zone where it just takes a long time. I don't think this is going to be a really fast move through here, but I would look for us to go up to 59.70 and then 59.80 potentially. I still have that main target up there of 6,000. So the bullish scenario would be walking up into that 6,000 level. I do have some levels after that. I just don't think that they're really necessarily in play today. So I've been kind of trying to focus on that. On the flip side, if we keep trading lower and kind of break through the 58.80 area, that's where we're kind of looking into where these are the levels that we took off from. So that's why I would always look to move back through that pricing. So we had this big move last Tuesday, and so that would be my first target, would be where we broke out of that range. So that's 58.50, 58.60 area would be my first target below. And then if we really get ugly, I think this 58.20 is going to be really serious support.
Why do you say that?
I'm gonna switch to another chart on this. I've been trying to figure out how I want to transition to this, but I'll show you. I'm gonna show you this on another. Well, this is from I don't know if maybe that chart's gonna be hard for me to pull up right now. This is over the past 2 years. So in volume profile, we talk about the point of control, which is the average price where we've spent most of the trading. And this level is one over the past couple of years. This is a cumulative VPOC. And I have it on another chart, but I kind of pulled the average, and it was right there at 58.20. So I think even if we do break below 58.80, and even, if we were to get through this mid-century 58.50 level down here, I think this is going to be really serious support, and I think there's going to be buyers there. Just the way the hedge funds work and kind of the strategies the hedge funds use, I think we're going to have buyers down there. So,
okay, fine, go ahead.
Well, if you have a question on that one, I
got a question on the bull side.
Yeah.
You said to get to the higher bull targets, you expect some chop. Like it won't be quick. Like right where your mouse is, it won't be quick in there. Why do you say that?
Well, we've had the credit down rating. So when we were flying high last week, we were flying high on optimism. You have to kind of think about what emotions are driving the market, and there was a lot of hopium and everything else going on at that point. And we don't have that today, and that's this candle. If you go look on any social media or in your Discord, there's somebody saying, what just happened? What happened on this candle? And that was everyone exiting real quick on that credit downgrading, whether they got it a little bit earlier or not. I wasn't actually trading at this time because it was Friday. I was Fridaying. But that is where we started getting the news about the credit downgrade. So we don't have what we were flying high on. And it might be that everyone decides that wasn't that big of a deal. So what I would kind of wonder is, since we've had this move down, maybe we'll kind of get a move higher and test up into 59.40 or even towards that overnight high. and then start retesting lower to see where the buyers are. What price is it that buyers are going to say this is still a good deal? So we don't really know that yet. So I'm trying to look at the areas where we could potentially see that happen, and that's we don't have the driving forces that we had to get that big springy move. So this would be more of a continuation. Are we still feeling optimistic after having that credit downgrading? And that would be testing these. We just have to test the levels and see where the buyers and everybody's hanging out.
All right. Barbie, we've got one other question for you. Do you know if everyone watching this stream has liked it so far today?
I don't know, but I would certainly expect that they have.
I feel like you know everything. This is crazy.
Because they should.
Have you liked it yet today?
Yes, I have. I just made sure I did. So, and here's the thing. I gave out a lot of good levels last week, and somebody should have been able to make money off of that. And if you made money off of that, you should be able to hit the like button.
Well, here's the problem.
That's just me.
You gave out so many good levels last week that those users are retired now.
Is that the problem?
That's the problem.
They're all on live accounts now.
They're done trading. They're done watching our stream. They moved to Monaco. And it's game over for us.
Pine Tree Trader hit it 3 times. He liked the stream 3 times.
All right. And one more. This one's for Forrest, I guess. Forrest.
What's up?
Do you think everybody out there has shared the stream yet today?
It's extremely unlikely. It's extremely unlikely. So if you haven't shared the stream and you're not doing your part, I mean, first of all, I take offense, but you can fix it. You can make it better, guys. Like the stream, share it. Share it with 2 of your friends, actually. Get everybody, share it with the whole family. Let's get these numbers. I want to hit 3K, guys. We've done 1,000, we've done 1,500. I think we've poked up to like 2,000 people. We need 3,000 people on a Monday. That's how you know we're popping.
On a freaking Monday.
I think we can do it.
All right. 3,000 is what we're going for, but as a baby stepping stone, what do you think about 600? And I bring out some giveaways.
We could do 600. We're at 483. Yeah, we just need 120 friends to pop on.
All right. So if you want free stuff, you want your fellow traders, your community to have free stuff, and you have not yet shared this link in your Discord on your X account, you are part of the problem. You are only hurting yourself.
You're also
hurting. That, Mr. Forrest, we just took a look at ES, and I'll say this too. I can't believe we're already talking about 6,000 again on ES after all this drama over the past like 5 weeks. Insane.
That's what I was trying to tell everyone. Everyone's like, oh my God. And they're selling at the bottom. Like, no, don't do that. Like, go look at the stats, go look at the history. Like, that was statistically a very average little downturn. It just happened very quick and dramatically, but it was actually very average. It's fine, y'all. It's fine.
Funny enough, if you go to, was it SPX? Let's do SPY.
All right, yeah, Forrest, let's take a look at your screen.
I'm gonna show you guys a neat little trick. This is the SPY 1 month chart. Okay, let's go ahead and get a little line. Huh. Pretty interesting. So yeah, I mean, it's just there's this trend right there, right? It's off by, I think I did the same thing on some other like index ticker, and it was like,
I love that you're bringing up this chart. This is one of my favorite charts.
Yeah. So if you were looking at this, in addition to all the other like confluence of the VP and stuff, like there were a lot of things here that said that, go long after. And here's the alternative to your point as well, Barbie. Like, if you don't think the market's going to bounce here, then maybe you think it's going to go here or something. But if you're somebody who literally thinks the stock market's going to go like this, like you're basically looking for global financial collapse. And like the things that we would need to see as indicators for that just aren't being seen. Doesn't mean it's impossible. Like the economy can collapse. It just wasn't, you know what I mean? So anyways, let's take a look.
Somebody's got to be sensational on X or in Discord or whatever and make it sound really dramatic for attention, but just calm down. Look at the data.
I literally have the same line here on NQ already. That's fun. So,
yeah.
Let's go to the 4 hours.
I showed this exact chart to my dad too. We had an OK Boomer chat. Like,
oh, yeah?
Calm down. Showed him that exact chart.
That's funny. Cool. So 4 hour right now. Let's get our visible range in here. Let's see where we are in the context of the auction. First and foremost, on the weekly, right? So we'll actually just go to the weekly. We had this candle come up, right? I mentioned really after Wednesday how we were gonna lose steam because we can't get a bigger candle, which is why Thursday and Friday were sideways. So keep that in mind. Barbie brought up the economic calendar for the week. You should be thinking about these weekly candles, right? These are candlesticks. Just keep them in mind when you're trading on the lowers. It'll stop you. Thursday and Fridays were great days if you had the right expectation for the week. So just keep that in mind for everybody. Jumping lower here, my visible range, my profile's not loading. Okay, here we go. So 4 hour, we came up. Obviously, we entered this little. Actually, let's go back a little bit further. Looks like there's a node that's right here, but I want to see if that's how accurate that is. All right, we're just in a bunch of meat right here. So we're pushing higher. We lost steam on the weekly. The one thing that's changed in the macroeconomic environment is a reduction in our credit rating, right? I don't know if that's necessarily going to stop this uptrend, to be honest. I suspect that it won't. We might get a little bit of a pullback because of that green weekly candle, right? We've had such a strong up move that we need a little bit of a pullback to open the week up before it continues higher. But we'll see. We did rip through a ton of liquidity though on the higher time frames. We ripped past this node here, and we're hitting lower value as we get back to all-time highs. So
Forrest, when you say like we ripped through all of that liquidity, does that mean that we have a better chance of coming back after we already went through all of that liquidity?
Not necessarily. It really depends on where the magnets are. So like, let's just use what we have on screen as an example right here. So in this time frame, there's a bunch of people positioned here, and there's some here. So my initial, you can see here, I have a downside target here, which was the edge of this other baby node here in the middle. Can't really see it here. There's this little node right here. So I have a target marked as just the edge of this next auction. So I consider these nodes like miniature auctions. So our ability to kind of pop out of here is going to depend on two things. One, overnight we did have a little bit of a downtrend. We've had like 4 red candles on the 4 hour overnight. And so if we do rip through this low value area, right, where there's nobody here to hold us, essentially, there's lower participation, then we're going to go to the next node of participation, which gives us that downside target of, you know, whatever this is, 20,990, right? Same for the upside. Upside target is, you know, prior highs and the edge of this next auction at 21,619. But it's not, I don't really see it as like liquidity has to get tested a certain number of times. It's more so looking at what's the most relevant magnet in the auction right now? What's the current trend? We're still in an uptrend. And until, my main thing, guys, is until the market says that we're done uptrending, I'm not going to assume that it stopped for any reason, right? Unless there was like a massive signal candle. I got like a red high volume candle at this edge here, which we don't really have. So we do have this 8 hour that formed here in this, you know, story of candles, the sequence of candles. But if I keep going higher, if I go like the 12 hour, you know, if I go to the 18 hour, 20 hour, 24 hour, like, yeah, the last Friday's candle was still green. So I need proof. And then if we do swap trend, right, I'll look for like a 50 fib retest of all of this price action, which is, I'll just eyeball it. It's like right in here. And coincidentally, there's a huge node right here. So if I wanted like a 50 fib retest of this uptrend, I'd look for like 19,709, something like that. So
Okay. And when you say I'm looking for proof and you're waiting for the market to tell you, that's like what traders talk about when you guys talk about confirmation, like waiting for confirmation.
yeah, so I would need either, if we use the weekly as an example, this weekly candle was a signal candle. So if anyone's on the webinar, it's a high volume doji hammer shooting star candle at an edge, right? So it swept some key levels. It's at an edge of a volume profile shelf, and it's a higher volume candle in the direction we want to trade into, right? So it's an up candle coming out of a downtrend right after sweeping. So I would need the opposite of that right now. I would need, if last week closed as a high volume red shooting star on the weekly, I mean, I'm throwing the shit out of this. I'm not seeing that. So right now, I just saw Thursday and Friday as last week ran out of steam, right? Because of the magnitude of the candle. The VIX is lowering, so we should expect the weekly candles to compress in general. They have to, okay? And so I'm just keeping that in mind. As we grind higher, the weekly candles are going to get smaller because volatility is decreasing, which makes sense in a bullish economy, right? You start to approach, you know, your uptrend, it just becomes, you know, inflation, or whatever, however you want to measure it. But yeah, that's how I think about it.
Okay, so the market's going to open in about 4 minutes, you guys. This morning, or not this morning, but yesterday, or this weekend, like the Moody's downgraded US credit rating, right? Like, I'm guessing that's why we're down 1.4%. Are you guys kind of thinking that might play into the way you see the open this morning at all?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Pay attention to the news, or like the values of the news, because again, people are positioned like, if you're up $1 million right now, Terri, on something, and the credit rating, it's like, how does that affect your position? You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't.
Like the bigger players, it doesn't affect them, is what you're saying.
It affects people who need to borrow money for any reason. And so there's like a long tail on that, but like intraday speculation and things like that, like it just quite frankly doesn't.
I look at it as the market's going to go where it wants to go. It's just waiting for that trigger. So if that's the trigger, then that's the trigger for the market to finally make a move lower, because we had just been relentlessly charging higher. But it still respects the technicals, and it always still respects the levels. So I'm always watching the levels no matter what. And if the news is what drives us to those levels and makes the play happen, then that's great. But I feel like the market is going to go where it's going to go anyway. We're just waiting for that push.
Like that catalyst.
Yeah.
Should we look at the charts to see what the open does? We're going to open.
I'm also so I guess the headline this morning so far is Trump is open to meeting with Putin. I was trying to catch up on all this too. So it looks like they're going to be meeting this afternoon, or they're going to speak on the phone this afternoon.
Ooh, okay. So some headlines.
Looks like Zelensky's going to be involved here too. So they're trying to get the Russia-Ukraine stuff worked out today. So that might be our theme later.
It could be, and also a Fed talk. I think all day today, right? All this week.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of Fed talkers, but unless it's Powell, I don't really care. To be honest, like they'll kind of move the market a few points, but
it can easily reverse. I did see that in pre-market this morning. I think Ballstick was speaking, and we did sell off just like a handful of points, and then we reversed. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, I think Jefferson is on now, who's even lower impact.
A lot of people struggle with the stream today, apparently. Well, it's fine on my end.
I never know what to say about that either when it works for me. I know we're not breaking YouTube.
Yeah, we are. That's what it is.
If you're lagging, put where you're from.
Viewers.
If you're lagging, put what city, country you're in, and maybe we can figure out if it's regional or something else. Other than that, there's not much we can do, guys. We just hit stream. You know?
Forrest, will you please fix the YouTube and the Google for me?
I'll bump into the tubes right now, and I'll get those.
All right. Okay. You know about computers. Fix it.
All right. Can I tell everybody about something crazy?
Please.
Yeah.
Love crazy.
Can I have like 4 minutes? Is that okay? That'll take us like 3 minutes after the open. Is that fine?
Do it.
Okay.
No rules here.
All right, I have something crazy. So, at MyFundedFutures, we are always on the hunt to create better trading experiences for you. We want to have unique offers, unique promos. We listen to users. We try to figure out what will it take to really help you out. We are not the prop firm that's out there just because we want to make your money. I mean, we're the prop firm that started and exists because we saw a lot wrong in the space and a lot that we can fix in the space. So over the past week, we've been putting together a very special promo that just went live about 1 hour ago, exactly 1 hour ago for you all. I was going to ask if anybody wants to guess what it is, but I think it'll be sort of hard to guess. And if you guess something that's better than what I'm going to say, that just makes it look bad. So I'm not going to pursue that path. But with code YouTube, I'll put the link in the chat. Again, code YouTube, link in the chat. Every account purchase comes with a free reset.
Whoa.
So if yes, exactly. You buy a starter account, free reset. Expert account, free reset. Eval Live, free reset. So
I was going to wonder if you were going to give everyone a free car. You get a free car. You get a free car, and now you get a
Pretty
free
much.
reset.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. So again, setting it up to help you all to achieve success. I know Forrest is like, you got a full port if that's the case. Every account that you buy comes with a free reset up to 3 times over the next 5 days. So you have 3 shots to use it. If you don't use them, they go away forever. So go ahead, use code YouTube on the link. I'll put it in the chat one more time, and you get a free reset included. All right.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So 3, you have 3 chances of reset?
Yeah, you can do it 3 times. Your expert accounts, your starter accounts, your starter plus accounts, everybody's favorite plan, Eval to Live. Go ahead and use them.
Wait. So you're basically getting 4 accounts.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. If you buy 1 expert, you get
Crazy.
4. I mean, if you fail, but why would you guys fail? I mean, you're learning so much. But just in case you did, you got 3 more accounts.
Yes.
Just
All right.
in case you accidentally full ported, maybe once or twice. By accident.
All right. Should we do a giveaway as well?
Duh.
I love stuff away.
Forrest, will you be our guest reader?
Yeah, let's do it. I love reading. What we got? Show me some letters.
All right, everyone. Get your fingers ready. The rules of the road are you must be a subscriber on this channel to be eligible to win. Oh, no, I said somebody in the chat said no, they don't want us to do a reset for us. They'd rather just get to the open.
Oh. Okay, well, that's easy. Yeah, switch
All
back
right,
to
my
the
bad.
charts.
See, I said I'd go to 33. It's already 33. I can stop.
No, that's cool. That's cool. They don't need it.
Yeah. All right. Oh, God, now the chat's saying they want it. They can't make up their mind. What do you think, Forrest? Free resets or no?
I guess. We got to get rid of these accounts.
You can guess into that guy.
All right. I was going to do 100 free resets, but given that we've been up since 7 a.m. this morning working to prepare for this stream today, I think we split 50 between the 4 of us and we give 50 out to the audience. How's that?
Good deal.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
You must be a subscriber to this channel to be eligible to win. You must have liked the stream to be eligible to win. So if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe now. If you have not yet liked the stream, like it now. I'm going to drop a fresh MyFunded link in the chat for y'all. Code is going on the screen now. What is it, Forrest?
Bullside 50. 50 resets. The code is Bullside 50. Slam it into that text box, hit enter. All ye who type.
We see you, chat, making it hard for them to come up with new creative codes. They're
Yep.
trying to guess it again.
Slam it in.
She just hit him
If
with
you
the
got it, let us know.
hit him with
Got
something
some
that's
W's.
super long and it's just a random string of letters and numbers. And it's just
Yeah.
freaking impossible. Yeah, we should do that. I condone that. Missed but W. There you go. I like that attitude.
That
I
is
like
the right attitude. You
All
can't
right.
get them all. It's just like trading. You can't get them all. You just
It's
have to
nice
get
see
what you
people winning
need.
them. All right. Can we also get a W Magnus in the chat? We
Ooh,
haven't gotten
yeah.
a W Magnus in a while. All right.
Putting
is
in the grunt work in the
on
pit with everyone.
just too slow, bro.
And I'll remind you, link in the chat with code YouTube for the reset. All right. All right, Terry. Sorry for interrupting. I said I'd take 4 minutes and it's been about 10.
No.
You have some beautiful candles I see forming. Barbie's going to say it's not a big move. But I'm always like, oh my God, look what's
It's
happening.
a baby move. It's a micro move. No. I mean, I am looking to see if we do this walk up to that 40 level and then get something moving off of there. Maybe we're going to get that. But I don't know.
It's looking good.
It is.
On the bull side, maybe we get a full gap fill, a common gap fill, as we learned from Barbie last Friday.
What's so common?
Those are the best kind, though. You gotta keep it simple. Simplest is always best. So
It is.
Yeah. So we have our first candle is a nice big green candle. Second candle is a nice big green candle on the 5 minute. So let's see what the third candle looks like. What are you thinking, Barbie, about a possible 15-minute breakout?
that's what I've been watching for. So if it ends up by the 40 level, I don't like it. Or, it's going to be a little bit trickier. But right now we have room. If it happens right here at the 30 level, then we have room up to 40. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm also keeping an eye on the VIX. It's still kind of moving lower. It's just Forrest was talking about this a little bit with volatility coming down. So that can mean two things. It's going to mean that the market is less likely to make the big aggressive moves down, but it's also less likely to make the big moves up. So that's something that I kind of have in the back of my mind here too. So.
And it's Monday.
And it is Monday. Monday morning scalps are some of my least favorite, but they can also work out. So you also don't want to say like, oh, it's Monday, I'm scared. So
right. I'm kind of liking this for a possible gap fill, maybe. We'll see what happens here. It's really trying to pump higher.
It's pushing.
It is pushing. I'm waiting for my live account to be activated. So hopefully in the next few days here, and then I'll be able to trade live with you guys in the live account.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, it's pushing.
Yeah, I was kind of watching. Oh gosh, I didn't get this in my account fast enough either. I was trying to take a quick little long there.
I'm long off 213. I'm just see if I get it.
I'm gonna try to buy something, just a little scalp. And I'm not set up to share. I have to share my other screen a second. Hang on.
Okay. Forrest, you're long from 213?
Yeah, 21 to 13.50. Let's see if we go for this previous day POC. It's already been retested, but I said the same thing before. It's very unlikely that on the Monday open you just get like trend continuation. So you should just expect the mean reversion trade more often than not. And so I should have longed earlier. Actually, I was considering longing like last night. Actually, after I could have improved my basis by like 50 points, but I chickened out. Point is, but we're green. We're doing decent. Let's see if
It's beautiful, that chart.
If we break into this node here, which we just cracked into, we just cracked this prior high. This is where this could immediately fail. Not really fail, but start to reverse. right? So we swept all this auction right here, right, from overnight mostly. Then it's skinny above us. And so if this is going to continue, it's going to be a pretty aggressive green candle. It's hard for me to imagine, because we swept these lows, that we also sweep these Friday highs. So this is this is an interesting open, actually.
So it could
I'm getting the
possibly
scalp
be-
off real quick here. I was trying to share it, but
Nice. Good job. How many
I don't
points
think
did
I
you
actually
get?
got it. I screwed something up.
Oh no.
One of these days I'll get it shared over here.
Let's crack 100 points right there. Let's see what we get. Let's see if I get like 200 points out of this long, and then I'll
Whew.
cut it.
Forrest, fire, 100 points already. So I liked what you said about that it would be hard for you to be able to see that since we swept the lows, that we would also sweep Friday's highs.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you on that. It seems very aggressive, unless we come in with new news or something to change everything. It could potentially fill or partially fill and then reverse back down. It's possible.
Yeah, I could see us just ranging today, or if we close like a P-shaped volume profile, I'm really fast forwarding to the end of the day, but we could grind up and fill this side in to where we end up like a P-shaped VP at the end of the day, which would bring us back into we would open higher. So we'd open as post settlement here, and then we would push. So that's what I'm thinking right now. If we have a very bullish continuation right now, then I don't know. That's a situation where I really don't know. It'd be kind of weird. I'd just probably start watching at that point. I'm not sure enough.
Okay, keep us updated on your long. I definitely want to know how that goes. Should we do
this value area high? So
Okay.
if it hits that, I'll get stopped out for profit. I'll call that a trade.
Nice. Are you going to trail your stop then, or are you just kind of watching it and then you'll just mark it out?
I trailed it. I have that's what this iPad is for. I have my accounts up over here. But yeah.
Cool. Making the monies this morning. I love it.
I did take that little scalp. I didn't get it shared. I took it off. Well, I had it on two different accounts. I took one off at 34.5 and one at 35.5. So we got a little scalp on this morning. I was fumbling with my buttons, but
nice. Monies, you guys, across the board. It's a good
just
Monday
a little
so
bit.
far.
Yeah, we got well, I had minis, one mini on one account and one micro on the other account. So it ended up 301 account or 401 account and $35 in the other account, but that's something.
Awesome job, Barbie. That's awesome. In just like a few minutes.
Yep.
Which is the best.
That's the one I've been trying to share with y'all too. So I fumbled with my buttons on sharing, but we're going to get that one this week. I know it.
I know it too, for sure. I can't wait. I'm just so excited to do more trading.
I had the wrong chart shared on my Ninja thing. I see what went wrong.
Oh.
I need IT.
Yeah.
IT, come make my buttons do the right thing.
We're still pushing higher. Wow.
We are.
I'm
I'm still kind of watching that 40 level though, so that's why I wanted to take my scalp off before that, because I'm still expecting some orders to be hanging out at that ES 40 level.
right about there. So possible reversal at about 40.
That's what I was kind of looking. If we get into my range scenario, I was looking for that to happen. We could, look for liquidity past 40, but
Yeah.
It's at this level that I'm kind of looking, because our full gap fill is up to, well, our overnight high was at 48 and it didn't get the full gap, right? So I think we're right at 50 to get that gap.
Yeah, and like the common gap, we would have to go up another 180 points, I think, which seems like a lot, but anything's possible.
Yeah, on ES we're not that far, so
Okay.
it's like 15 points on the ES.
While we're waiting, do you want to do the chart of the day, Barbie?
Oh yeah, we can do that one. So I was looking a little bit at kind of what we were talking about with the credit downgrading, because something that you need to watch when we're talking about that sort of thing is gold. And so I did actually mark up my gold chart a little bit here. So I thought y'all would like that. I had some notes. Let me go see if I can find them real quick, unless I've lost them. Yep, I don't know where they are. Okay. But basically the credit downgrading, whenever we get that, you want to look at places that if somebody was nervous about that in the indexes, where would they go? So gold is one of those places. And so when I looked at gold this morning, I noticed that we were kind of reclaiming the support, and we do have a common gap up on gold right now too. So this one, because it's futures, I hope that y'all would like this one too. If you zoom way out, you can see we've got room both down and up. But if we're talking about just the general, gold has been strong. The theme is gold is strong lately. It's kind of hard to short gold over the long term right now. So if you're trying to, sometimes we talk about, a lot of times we talk about putting our trades into context. So that would be if gold is strong, maybe you want to favor the long trades. And so that's what I was looking here. If the ES is going to consolidate or move lower and someone wants someplace safer to put their gold, here we are. I had marked this level out. We were looking at both this trend line and kind of this level one of the last times we looked at gold. But now we have this nice little gap here that we're actually kind of getting close to target. So what I'm looking at, I just want a normal horizontal line. We'll put one of those on here. I want to just kind of watch this swing high. We didn't quite get there before. So we have a swing high right up there around 52.50. It's coming out at 52.54.9. So that's kind of the initial resistance that we have. But if the indexes keep moving lower and gold cracks through this, I think we're pretty likely to go after this gap. So I'll highlight this gap so you can see the levels. The bottom of the gap is 32.81.3 and the top is 33.28.5. So those would be the main targets. And I've mentioned before, but I don't know if we really dwelled on it. One of my favorite targets with gaps, because I want to make it easy on myself. And I don't want to be a dick for a tick. And we've all been there where price goes up and it just misses your order. And it's like, I had that whole plan and I lost it over a couple ticks. So the mid-range, the midpoint is one of my favorite targets because that's when I can start trailing that last runner and going for the last little bit there. So that midpoint is around 33.04.3. If you want to target that off the. So who's looking at gold this morning? This is the hourly chart. So it gives you a lot of room to kind of find some little plays to play in. But so who's looking at gold this morning? There's also kind of a quick little trend. I didn't mark this one. Sometimes these are like so obvious, I don't even mark them, but then I have to show what I'm talking about. But you can see we've even got a little trend forming right here. So as long as all of this holds, hopefully we can get to gap level. I'm talking about gold and being distracted by this over here too. So we are at the 40, and this is also a 15-minute orb now. I knew it was going to do that. Why did I know it was going to do that? So this is where I was nervous about taking this opening range breakout at the 40 level because I'm feeling like we're going to have we have potential for some decent sellers up in here. It could still break through.
Whew,
but
yeah.
You see 47, the edge of this POC node. So 40 is like the prior day POC, and then there's a little bit like a delta in the VP there. There's also that like morning or post
on ES.
Yeah, there's that post settlement 1 hour top hook there at 59.47.75.
Yeah.
See if
So I was having a hard time nailing down an exact level in there, which is why I've kind of watching that as more of a zone. But yeah, I like the way Forrest looks at the market here too, because if we're looking for orders, there's different ways that people look at the market, and there's different reasons that orders could be there. So when we're looking for confluence, it's going to be if there's a volume profile level and just a clear horizontal support and resistance level and all these different things there, that's confluence. So that's what makes me, I want to take that 15-minute orb, but it's making me real nervous here. That's why I kind of grabbed that earlier one.
Yeah, it sounds like it's super important to listen to your own system. Like everyone's different, and as long as you stick to your own process,
and if you are listening to other people and you have that confluence there, then that's when you can kind of pile that on. But sometimes it's just noise. There's all this noise in your head when you're trying to listen to this person and that person. But if volume profile says we have a level there, and support and resistance says we have a level there, and market profile says we have a level there, we have a level there. So, because there's going to be a lot of different people looking at that same area.
What do you guys do if there's like you have conflicting views within your own system?
Hands off. Wait for it to make sense.
Okay, that's good advice. Yeah, that has happened to me many times where I just feel so confused. I'm like, wait a minute.
And a lot of times you try to force something, but that's when you start second guessing yourself. So if you do force something, it's like, well, but, and then you're hopping in and out of the market. And we all know you don't make money hopping in and out. So especially if you're going for a scalp and then you're hopping in and out of a scalp, like that's a lot.
Yeah. What's that, Forrest?
So I'm seeing if this long goes to 21,440 here. Get like 200 points and some change. We'll see. It's still pushing though.
Whew, that is a monster long. Way to go. It's pushing. So Linda Raschke, she said that if the first 30 minutes of market open during New York, if it doesn't come down and test at all, like the low of that like 5-minute candle, and if we close towards the high, probability wise, it's a very high statistic that it can lead to a trend day. So
I was actually just reading that. I think it was like 75 or 80%, right? Like it's a high percentage.
It is high. Yeah. And I've seen it play out. Like the more I pay attention to that, the more I'm like, whoa, I should have just like bought and held on for the entire day.
Well, at some point, it's just investing. But I highly encourage. The market has an upward bias in general.
Yeah.
As you continue to zoom out.
It's the hopium in general. It's human hopium.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have a quick story to share with you guys. Like during COVID, you know, I was trading during COVID and totally got freaked out with everything that was happening and with the markets just tanking and VIX like at what 80 or something. And I was just so convinced. I'm like, the fundamentals, it's terrible. Like people don't have jobs, we're shutting down and all of this. Oh my God, lost so much money during that time because I wasn't listening to the markets. Right? Like the markets were saying, hey, we're going higher. And I was trying to short. And what you're saying for us, like, and Barbie, that markets love to go higher. Like that's what they like to do. So
remember, the economy has survived every major war, the current wars, every major illness, every plague. It always bounces back. Unless the Earth gets hit by an alien space missile, we're going to keep putting in new all-time highs. So one thing
Well, if you want to be conspiracy theory, that the massive amount of money and just wealth in the market is incredible. And if you're talking about the people who are really in control of everything, they're going to have ways to make stuff not crash because they're very literally invested. So
and they have a lot of money to keep buying. That's so true. So let's invite Luke back on the screen to do honorable mentions. Hey,
All right.
Luke.
As a proud American, you know what this rally tells me?
What?
We need an
USA.
L Moody's in the chat. Big L for Moody's.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cared last year too badly either. Like we got that initial reaction and the market was like, okay, who cares?
Yeah. And it's the third company, I think, to do the downgrade. So maybe it's old news.
Old news. All right, folks. Guess what segment we're going to run. Whoever in the chat can guess what segment we're running next gets a free expert account. How about that?
Life lessons with Luke.
Oh, that was a good guess.
I
could get one cooking. Let's see. I'm looking for it. Chart of the day, guys. We already did it. Yep, honorable mentions. I got it. Oh, but somebody that has a tough FRS 336. You need to reach out to Magnus, and you're getting a free expert account. This is our honorable mention segment, the segment that celebrates you, the trader, the success you have achieved, the fellow community. So without further ado, I would like to get some payout certs on the screen now. We've got this one from Prodigy. Live accounts are life-changing. Payout for the week, $4,000.
Well,
Give Prodigy a little round of applause. Yep, exactly. But wait, there's more.
that's a lot of money. $4,000.
Griffey,
I like
another
it.
$4,020 going for that big 420. Lock in everyone for the live accounts. Another live account payout. Give him a round of applause.
Is this Giffy who was just on the show?
Yes, he was just a guest on Friday.
Awesome, man! So impressive. If people missed that show, like go back and watch it. So impressive.
So, Terri, here's what I have to tell the people.
Okay.
All right. This is an important question for the chat. If your name is not Prodigy or Giffy, can you please put a 1 in the chat? If your name is not Prodigy or Giffy, can you put a 1 in the chat? I want to see how many people here are not either Prodigy or Giffy. Okay. Seems like quite a few. Are you watching the YouTube chat, Terri?
I am. Yeah. I
Pretty quick.
haven't seen any other number besides 1.
Okay. So that means that many of you are not Prodigy or Giffy, which means you did not get these nice, beautiful $4,000 live account payouts. So I'm going to help you out. I'm going to put a link in the chat with code YouTube that will give you a free reset with any account purchase. Starter, free reset. Starter Plus, free reset. Expert, free reset. Eval Live, free reset. 50K account, 100K account, 150K account, free reset. Okay? Link is in the chat now. Code YouTube. Grab it. When you type in the code, I saw some questions in the chat saying that the code is showing 0% or it's not working, etc. It will show 0%. This is normal. The code is not broken. Don't worry, you can still complete your purchase because normally we do like a % off, like you get 20% off your Starter Plus or something like that. This one it's going to show 0% because you are paying the full amount for the main account, but then you get your free reset. Your free reset is included if you use that code YouTube. All right.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yes.
And I see somebody in the chat is lamenting, cannot reset the accounts I bought last week. Bummer. True, that's a bummer. You know, it's unfortunate that you bought them last week and we had this deal this week. So if you're lucky enough that you need some more accounts, today is your day. You can use this up to 3 times. It'll either run out at the end of this week or when we sell out.
Whew. That's one of the best promos I have heard, honestly, like with all the resets. That's incredible. I love it. It's creative. No one's ever done that promo before.
Having fun over here.
I love it. Market is still kind of hanging out towards the New York highs right now. That's good.
Yeah, it's getting stuck in that spot we were watching for it to get stuck at. I think Forrest wants a little bit more, though. We're almost there.
We're diverged on so the VPs are a little diverged on the 1 hour. We've got ESPOC. We're in that node now. We're traversing it. We're going for like that 47 area. So I'll do a little arrow for you guys. Like the edge of this node, it's not super defined, but you see it drops off here. And there's also that prior high. And then in Q, we have its naked POC up here, right? 21,440-ish. So I want to see if NQ is going to catch up. It's kind of lagging though. So if we get, we could get a pretty fast top wick out of this area, not going to lie. So just managing my trade pretty closely at this point. But I want to see if we grind up and grab the folks here from Friday before we do something else.
Yeah, it looks like VWAP was from Friday around 420-ish, 430, that area. I do see that gap fill that we're filling from the overnight gap. So I totally see what you guys were talking about, like potential area of resistance, like not sure if we should go long or not from for the 15-minute ORB, Barbie.
Mhm.
Yeah, I see that.
That's why I'm kind of waiting to see if we're going to get the reaction that I was initially looking for off of ES, where we start moving lower. So I'm glad I grabbed that last one. It's helping keep me calm and not trying to take this. You can on my charts, I have my little orb tool. I have it on the one you can't see too, but it's on my ninja chart. But I also have it on here. It's this little, when this little yellow line lights up, that tells me that we're breaking out of the orb that I have set, the opening range breakout.
Mhm.
And normally I'd take those. And it is playing out too, which is a little bit annoying. I ended up kind of front running it and taking it down here up because I wanted to be taking profits before this level. But the other play that I'm looking for, I mentioned this one in my plan, is if we move back lower if we find resistance up here and make a move lower. But if the market is really, really strong, that would be where I have to have extra patience and wait for that move lower to then go back long. So
Yeah. And like to have the discipline and patience to not chase. Cause like it's like sitting on your hands. Cause Forrest, you got in at such a great price. It's like
yeah,
it's sometimes
he was
it's
in
so-
before I was, and he's sitting in here after I was too. So
yeah. It's
I mean, I only go for trades that are at least like 100 points.
100 points or bust. Yeah.
Not even because I don't really measure R. I don't measure R or anything on my trades or have a default bracket. I just trade I guess my thesis perhaps.
Yeah.
do you place your stops like based on the chart then?
Yeah, my stop is always just where my thesis would absolutely fail.
Yeah.
I think about money or profits. Like I think about money in terms of leverage, so I'll just trade as small as I need to. But I'm always interested in seeing if my thesis is correct when I'm trading. It's my
Mhm.
priority because I want good data. Ultimately, this trade right now isn't too important. What's more important to me is getting good data, and so I can continue to increase my leverage over time, right? Because reasonably in 5 years, my leverage should be like 4 or 5x what it is now, right? It should just continue to increase. The only way I can do that with confidence is if I have really good data. So I need to test my ideas thoroughly.
That's where I am too. When I get held up on getting new trades done, it's because I haven't had time to do all the data, because that's what gives me the confidence in it.
That's huge, you guys, like to have that confidence to continue being able to execute your process, your strategy, and sticking with the same one. Because like I
Some of
know
it's getting those hits in, but you can only get so many hits in when you're waiting for the live trade. But if you go back and practice it and do the back testing and all that, you can speed all that up a lot. So
yeah, it seems like that would really help with emotions.
Yeah. We flew through that 47. So we're traversing that node now. Let's see if we get the I shouldn't count, but I'm almost at 200 points. I just want to, if I can get,
we have full gap fill on ES. We don't have it on NASDAQ though yet, do we?
Traverse that node. Yeah.
Oh, we just got it. It just hit at 400, right?
I don't know what gap you guys are looking at. I'm not gonna lie.
I was looking at. Wait, am I looking at the wrong one? No, I'm looking at the right one.
We did
The Sunday gap.
the overnight gap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here,
we just hit it.
I'll pull out my hourly. I was looking at a different screen. So this is it right here. This is the little gap. Me and Terry like these overnight gaps.
What ticker is that? I can't even see it. The screen's
NASDAQ. Here, I'll make this
NASDAQ.
one larger. So there's NASDAQ. I can turn my magic levels off in a second here too, but the yellow box is the gap that we were looking at.
Okay, so yeah, in my opinion, the gap was already filled at 1900, right? Post settlement. But yeah, got it.
I was we were looking for the RTH.
Yeah,
yeah, fill it out.
open.
And here, let me tell you why I was still looking for that. So we got just that wick fill in the extended hours, and this is just an observation. Now I want to go back and look at the data on this. When we don't get the full body fill and we just get that wick fill, I've noticed that we still go for it a lot during RTH.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense.
I don't have data on that. That's just like in
Yeah.
my brain that happens. So now I want to go back and get data on it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because, like, if we have a full candle, full body candle, it means it typically means that people are very confident, like they're in a hurry to pay up in higher prices. But if it's a wick, it's like a reversal. So it makes sense to me if people would go test it again. So this is interesting. Like, this could potentially set up if we do get a reversal. I'm kind of looking at this chart, looking for like a 3-bar reversal. If we do get a 3-bar reversal, like, I would want to take a short off of that New York high. Yeah, but
This thing's still, I mean, this thing is really strong though. So this is the point where I was expecting to see some sort of reaction. So I always talk about the market inhales and exhales. So we've taken this big inhale and I'm still kind of waiting for the exhale before I try to go back long again. So like Forrest is in a good spot where he's still in his position and maybe kind of trailing. But since I took it as a scalp and I'm out, now I'm just, since I'm not in the continuation, that's always kind of a tricky spot. You have to make that judgment call. Are you going to stay in and try to trail it? Or are you going to run with your profits? Monday morning, I'm a little bit more likely to run with my profits. But yeah, now we're kind of getting that nice extension off of it where it kind of sucks that I'm not still in it. But that is what it is. I chose to not take the larger play out of it. So.
Yeah, but it's Monday. I heard you say it's Monday, and then there were those like areas of resistance. So it makes sense, like with your process, why you're like.
And I was also
I'm gonna
looking
take
at
it
the
out.
data because there's nothing on the calendar today. So
Yeah.
in that situation, we're just going to go with what the market is feeling like. So, sentiment basically. And we had some mixed signals because we've been moving just straight up, but then we had that Moody's news where are we going to accept that as a negative or not? And the market seems to be, what Moody? Who's Moody?
Yeah, Moody who? Who's in a bad mood?
Yeah.
So should we go to education? Are you guys up for it? Some education from Barbie?
Oh man, look at this thing go.
Oh,
Forrest,
wow.
dinner's on you tonight.
Forrest, dinner's on you.
Again?
That's incredible. Look at that. Okay, so it went up to a high of 21,439. Oh,
Yeah.
I was actually about to say we could sweep this. I lied. So there's a little trend line in ES. We could sweep this party high. So might get another hundo out of this. I'm probably going to TP here. So we got my naked POC guys, 440s right there.
I do have that high marked up here too. That was the 59.7750 on ES. So I was kind of watching that one too.
awesome trade for us. That was awesome. Good job.
Thank you. Welcome.
You're welcome.
L
Thanks
Moody. I like that is a good idea for a code. Who said that one? Tinku L Moody.
L Moody. L Moody 50.
That would have been a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Barbie? Are you up for some education? I know you've been giving us lots of education. Okay.
So where are we? I lost my chart. This one. Okay, so you guys had been asking me a lot, what are your VWAP settings? I was honestly a little bit confused about that, but we were talking about it in the Discord. It's like, why is everybody asking me my VWAP settings? So let's talk about it. VWAP, here, we'll go over here. I pulled up the Investopedia, which of course has an ad, but this will show, we have the calculation down here. So what is the VWAP? This is a moving average, but it's the volume weighted average price. So we're taking the price and comparing it to the volume instead of, so this is just the current price. It's not measuring it over X amount of candles. If you have a 9 EMA, we're measuring it over the last 9 candles. So the VWAP is measuring it over the entire session. So that's why when I was like, what do you mean? What are my settings? VWAP is VWAP. I wasn't trying to be difficult, but that kind of it. So if we put VWAP on the chart, this is the basic VWAP that comes with TradingView. And when you first add it on, it looks like this, and it does look different from my from the way my charts look. Oh wait, I forgot to switch. Okay, so here's VWAP on the chart, just as it comes with TradingView, and it doesn't look like the way I have it on my chart. So I'll step y'all through that, but you can see here I have the volume on. So this was our first candle of the session. So VWAP was the same as price. And then the farther we move away, the more data we have over the session, where we're getting this formula to calculate what our actual line is. So the actual VWAP is this blue line down here. I think somebody's getting here, so sorry about my dogs. But I'll go into the settings and show them to you. Sometimes I do this where I hide the VWAP on the daily or above because it's useless on the daily. But I keep everything. This is all the basic settings that come with it. One of the things that I do like to do though, when I first get VWAP on here, is I turn the band fill off and I turn the bands off. The idea behind the bands is they're going to show you when we're oversold or overbought. But as you can tell on the indexes, it's not giving me good information. I don't use those in my playbook, so I just turn those off. If you use them, you leave them on there. Great. And then the only other thing I do is because I have some indicators that will show up in blue. I use that as a different color. I just put my VWAP on white. That's literally the only settings I have. I just turned the stuff that I consider noise off. Maybe it's not noise if you have a strategy that's using these bands. I don't, so I turn them off. And that's literally all that the VWAP is. And the reason that I like the VWAP over the moving averages is because it's so simple and because it keeps me from overthinking. I do still use SMAs and EMAs, but if I had to only choose one moving average, it would be this one because we can still use it to get our trend. So overnight, we were in a downtrend. We can look at VWAP and just use it really clearly. I want to have something that can filter my trend. So that's either when I'm trading live or if I set up an automation. I need something just very basically to tell me if I'm in an up or a downtrend. And VWAP does that really nicely. The other thing that I do, and this is, I think, where somebody, if you're asking me what my VWAP settings, where it might be confused, I do have a second VWAP on here. So this one I'm using, I searched for this. It has this typo, but it's called VWAP Open Session. And it looks like this. So this is how I get the one that just shows the regular trading hours. I have it hidden right now. So let me turn it on. I'll show you what that one looks like. It's actually this green line right here. So let me explain this. The 8:30 candle on my chart, because I'm in Central Time Zone instead of New York, so it's an hour earlier here. This is our opening candle. So that's the one where it's starting to calculate the VWAP. And the way I do that is using this VWAP open session. You can see the author there, Hempe. I don't know how to say that, but if you want to look for that one on TradingView, it's the VWAP open session anchored by Hempe. And then here are the settings that I'm using. It comes with multiple sessions. I don't care about the extra session. I just want the one session, and that's the morning session. So for me, since I'm an hour earlier than New York, that's 8:30, and then I just have it run for the full New York session. So that ends at 15:30 for me. And then again, because I want to have a special, or I want my VWAP to just stand out as its own thing, I put this in white. It's supposed to be turning to white. There it is. But then to turn it to be able to tell them apart, I go over here and I have the morning session VWAP, and I can just change that to circles. And then I have a little dotted version there too. And that's how I set up my two different VWAPs. But I wanted to take a minute to explain kind of, we can move it up and put it above price, so it's hanging there too. But I wanted to explain why maybe you don't have settings on VWAP and maybe why you do. So the only setting I have is just to have this second one where I'm watching the regular trading hours. And the reason that I do that is during the regular trading hours, this one it's a little bit faster since it's starting a little bit later. And then it's basically, we talk about the difference. Why do you watch ES futures compared to SPX or SPY? Because it has more information, but there's still algos and people using the SPX VWAP. And this is basically going to equal where the SPX VWAP is if we added whatever the difference is, whatever the gap is between the ES futures and the SPX. It's basically if we added that value to that SPX VWAP. And then we have it on our charts to use on ES. So that's the 15-minute. So we could look kind of where yesterday started. Here's what it looks like on a 5-minute if you're trading real intraday. So one of my personal rules is when it's between these two VWAPs, I don't take a trade. I call it the VWAP sandwich, if you've ever listened to me on my own channel live. And I don't trade in the VWAP sandwich. I want to trade above or below the VWAP sandwich. So any other questions about VWAP? hopefully that cleared a lot of that up. We'll go back and look at the market while I wait for any questions to come in. And we'll see if we have anything else ready for you. VWAP!
VWAP, VWAP, VWAP.
VWAP! VWAP! However you say it. VWAP.
Thank you for that overview, Barbie. That was super helpful. It's like my favorite too. If I can only have one indicator, that would be it. It's so
Definitely.
helpful. And like the institutions, they use it to help execute.
They are definitely using it.
Yeah.
I can tell because the price reacts right when we get there.
Right. So, you guys, what do you think about another giveaway? Should we do one?
I think so.
You think so? What do you guys think? Chat, should we do another giveaway? Type in 1 if you think we should. I see yes. Yes. Let's hit some more likes. Smash the like button. What are we at now? 430? Is mine right? I always have to like upload it. 4. Yes.
For this Friday high, guys. Sorry, I know you're doing a giveaway, but
are we there?
No, but I think we're gonna go 59.77, and then my upside target previously that drew last week was 59.8750 on ES. So we just might kiss that today.
I like it.
Oh, okay. Let me go check on the giveaways. I will be back. Okay. I'll be right back.
Do it. Do your thing.
Okay.
What?
I
So
was going to ask
as well.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's very much I don't know why I didn't see this. I was doing too much. It's hard to talk and trade sometimes. But
sometimes you got to have your caffeine before you see all the levels. That's me.
I've had no coffee today. I have
there's your problem.
One of my people getting me one right now. But we have this kind of price action like this, which is just very obvious now that I'm looking at it. And it's like, oh yeah, like it's going to continue. I was paying attention just to the VP and like this node and the prior node, but my suspicion, or really the odds of it not sweeping this prior day high, are just based off like statistically we swept, some lows already. But then if you look at this sweep here, right, this day, Thursday on the 15th, it did the same thing, right? We came down, we did a deep cut, right, and then it came and actually went for the highs as well. So I'm just like, oh well, the market's just going to do what it did, right? We had a deep cut, went to the edge of this auction here, it's coming back, and all these, I mean, I'm sure a gajillion people, if we were looking at order flow, were shorting here. Like undoubtedly a bunch of people just got smoked this morning, especially with the news. They're like, oh, we got downgraded, we're gonna fall off a cliff, and then it immediately reverses on them. So yeah, we'll see if we get these highs here. I'm just gonna leave my target 59.8750, and then NQ upside target 21.619.25 still. Prior day high obviously first. See if we get that prior day high.
Yeah, I was about to say, so I was looking on ES that the 77.50 was really catching my eye, being, well, it was last week's high too. So it was yesterday, since that was the last trading day, and it was also last week's high.
Yeah, I like it. VP Forrest, when you see VH, VAL getting rejected on ES, could use that as confluence to go long or short on NQ. Yes. So on a D-shaped day, when you have a very obvious kind of rangy session, right, normal distribution, VH and VL become good entry exit points. I usually trade into the POC, so I like to expect the market to mean revert, because it does, instead of away from it typically, right? But yeah, I would short off of VH, take a long off of value area low, typically. So yeah.
So I'm back, you guys.
Woo! You've been beating up Luke back there, right?
Yeah.
Cracking the whip. Give me those
codes. Yes. I just had to check on the reset. So we are almost at 5. Yes, we just hit 500 likes. All right, let's do that reset. So 50 free, 50 resets. I will give you guys a minute to get ready. Everyone get ready to try and snag one of these free resets. Oh wait, why does it keep hovering between 500 and 499? Is someone like unliking
Come
it?
on, y'all. It can't be unliking. Unlike, we have to get rid of the codes.
We have to
Luke's
like.
rule. It's Luke's fault.
All right, you guys, here we go. On 3. 1, 2, 3. 50 free resets. What is the code, Forrest?
ES 6000.
All right.
ES 6000.
ES 6000. We better get it now.
ES.
I cannot believe it that we're already back at 6,000. That's wild.
So this is resets. This one y'all wanted free resets earlier. Here's the free resets.
Yes. And don't forget, you guys, the promo for the week is use the code YouTube to when you buy an account, and then you'll get a free reset with the purchase of the account. And it's more than one, right? Like if you fail, like if you accidentally full port, not that I'm ever guilty of doing that, but I believe you get 2 more freebies after that, like 2 more chances. So it's the best. Honestly, it's the best.
I mean, that one that just comes with the account, so you don't have to fight for resets.
Yes, exactly. It just comes with it. So you get a free reset. You get a free reset. You get a free reset. I saw that show.
If it's saying it's not working, it's they've been snagged, y'all.
Yeah, they've been all snagged, 50 of them. So the market is still hanging out at the highs here at 450.
It is.
Forrest, I saw your comment about the wick, wicking Fridays POC.
Yeah. So first touch. So there's this concept called first touch levels that I talk about, which can be trades, especially at macro levels. So even in an up move, if you expect it to crack the glass or like the ceiling resistance, right? That first touch will still get a reaction, and that can be like a scalp, right? So the very first time we came up to 21,440, okay, there was a little reaction. We go to the lower time frames. You can see that it gave us a little bit of a red wick in there. That's all I'm talking about. But in general, just due to the volume off the 4 hour, look at this 4 hour opening candle, guys. High volume up candle, right? Same on ES as well. Someone heard my alert trigger. Once that alert triggered, that gave me like extra confidence as well. So that's like an indicator that I wrote for myself. But the opening 4 hour candle just being an up candle is like, it's 100% going to go for this naked POC at least. Like it just has to. Liquidity's there. We're in an uptrend. Again, we're still in an uptrend. I need to say that like 5 more times. We are in an uptrend. Look for buys.
No matter what the trolls say on the internet, right?
Yeah, like until the market proves otherwise, not whatever Trump says, not what Jay Powell says, until the literal freaking candlesticks.
And not what Ferrari Trader 69 says either.
Start doing this, okay? Until we have a literal, actual freaking downtrend, we're in an uptrend, okay? So just expect, if you were someone, and I know a lot of you guys did it today because it was very trappy this morning. If you were someone who at this time was like, I need to go short now instead of shorting up here or any other better price. If you were shorting the lows, just stop doing that, guys. So many people that I talk to and coach are like, they're always longing the highs. There's people who aren't long and they're longing now. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go long now. I'm gonna get the last little bit of this. Stop. Just stop it. Stop longing the highs and stop shorting the lows. Just do the freaking opposite. Okay, and trade with the trend. Regardless of whatever system you're using. If you do that, I promise you, you will much more likely be profitable.
What is it about newer traders that we just want to short, like buy the highs and sell the lows? Like it's such a common thing.
You just see it going and you're like, I want in on that. Let's join. Then for some reason, there's no thinking about context or the breaths that the market takes or the resistance that the market finds.
Mm-hmm.
That's that discipline and patience again.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I specifically removed red and green from my charts, not to be cool or anything, but we have strong psychological like responses to those colors, right? Green means go, green means good, red means stop, red means bad. And it's like, that's not what that means, right? Red means go long.
That's actually why a lot of mine are pink and blue too. The one I was
Yeah.
showing today is because I haven't changed it yet, but I tend to use the pink and blue just so I don't have to look at red and green all the time.
I need to do that too because my charts are still red and green. we should do that together on
pretty
air.
color code chart. Yeah, I gotta show. Well, you can see my planners all color coded. My charts are all color coded. It makes life more beautiful.
That makes sense though, because it's very emotional for especially for newer traders. You're seeing everyone buy and it's like, oh, I have to chase this, or everyone's selling, and then it's like the fear of, okay, I have to sell. And then you get squeezed, which sucks. I mean, no one wants to be short squeezed, or that sucks. So awesome trade today, Forrest. It was 200 plus points and great trade, great scalp.
Not bad.
It's a good Monday. So what are you guys thinking for the rest of the day?
Well, I'm kind of looking to see if we're going to have a reversal up here still coming into probably the London close. I'll probably go take a break after this and then go see if just one of these levels up here hits. I was initially looking for this one, but it could end up being the 70, 80 area. I had a lot of levels I pulled up there. I just marked a few of them. But the 5970s on ES is another area where there's a lot of noise and mess, and where I could potentially see some orders. So that would be another little reversal point. But if the market does come down and kind of retest these other levels that I was looking at and move back higher, then maybe we're in a trend day today. So I would be looking for some longs up there.
Awesome, thank you, Forrest. What are you thinking?
What's the question? Oh, for the rest of today?
Yeah, are you done, or kind of what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I think the first impulse for the day is probably done. We're gonna start to chop into lunch. So given that it's Monday, I'm probably gonna look at 2 and see if I can get the afternoon wave. I'm not really interested in anything that's about to happen now. I don't really want to scalp at all. I'm up 200 points and some change. So yeah, I would like
to get that great trade. Enjoy it. That's another lesson that we have to teach. Like once you get that win, enjoy it.
Yeah. Sit on your hands.
We don't do that enough.
If I had to theory craft on the session, so we'll let this load real quick. There's a few different outcomes. One, we grind up here, we start to build value, we grind up, and we barely come up to this high up here. The other alternative is that we actually do like a tweezer candle right back to the POC. So we get a hot red candle back here, and then it's going to slowly push back up and fizzle out here at close. We'll fizzle at like 59 for the close. But yeah, ideally the best setup for a trade is going to be that we move away at around 215. It needs to mean revert because we've moved away from the point of control. That's really what I would look for, is the market really expanding far away from the mean, and assuming it's not a trend day, and it's going to mean revert. So anything less than that, I'm not going to do anything. Just watch. So that's it.
All right. Thanks, Forrest. Hi, Luke.
What's up? I'm back.
You're back.
Always lurking. Wonderful job.
Always
everyone.
Lurking.
Always
Thank
lurking. I've got a couple things for the chat. I see that at least 2 people who are watching us have not yet liked the stream and shared the stream. So if that's you, please do so now. Second thing for the chat, I see that at least 8 people have not yet used code YouTube to get a free reset with an account purchase. And lastly, I see at least 12 people have not put a thank you in the chat to Forrest, Barbie, and Terri for this past riveting 90 minutes. You can do it now.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
All right. So we are rolling into our next hour of programming on MyFundedTV. Again, we are not here just to be the prop firm that you love and trust and grow with, but also the prop firm that builds community, delivers the ideas, the charts, the education to you. So I'd like to say goodbye to these friends and hello to our newer friend, Mr. Ash Trades himself, Ash Ketchum, the Ash Man,
Dun dun dun.
Is what's going on, baby?
Hey, good morning. How are we
Happy
doing
Monday.
today?
Fresh haircut?
Yes.
Looking
Ready for a good
crispy?
week of work.
See, here's something that life lessons with Luke, okay? If you want to feel ready for the world and ready to tackle a big week ahead, you need to get a fresh haircut every week. You look better, you feel better, you're ready to roll. Granted, I only get my
There's
haircut
just
4
something
times
about
a
a
year,
new
but
haircut.
yeah, every Monday I want to see you with fresh cut, Ash, as like a piece of inspiration and motivation for the community.
Love it. I could easily do that.
All right. And are you oiled up and ready for the big week?
We are actually going to talk about oil today. So CL is one of the charts that I'm keeping an eye on. So yeah, ready to go.
All right. Give us a little bit more preview. So we're talking oil. What else can we expect over this next hour?
Well, hopefully we can make another deal for another giveaway. Continue to keep adding more value to the community and everybody that continues to keep showing up with us. And then I'm going to go through some trades and some analysis. Any live trades that occur, I'll gladly go over them with everybody, provide some of the logic and the reasoning behind those decisions.
Okay. Ash, how many likes are we at so far?
Let me hop over and let's take a look. We are at, looks like we're 540.
All right. I heard a little rumor that we have free accounts lined up for your segment today. Not just resets, but accounts.
Oh man, chat's going to love that one.
They're going to love that one. We've already done 2 rounds of giveaways. We got another one coming. So for these free accounts, how many likes do you want to see?
I set the bar at 1K minimum each time, and I think we need to stay there. So a nice double on those likes would be huge. Let's try to get to 1K again.
1K?
1K
All
likes.
right. So then, Ash, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'll let you keep rolling.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good morning, good morning, or good day, depending on where you're from. How's everybody doing today? Very excited to get back on here with everybody. Another chance to gain some more conviction through experience. Let's see how chat is doing today. Good morning, or good day. How's everybody doing today? Throw a 1 in the chat if you're green on the day. Throw a 2 in the chat if you're red on the day. And throw a 3 in the chat if you've yet to trade today. See how everybody's week is starting off so far. Very excited to get back on here with everybody. Get another good day of work in. Continue to keep relentlessly working and learning every single day. Looks like a pretty mixed bag so far. Couple 1s, handful of 2s, some 3s as well. Well, just know that wherever you stand, we need to be objective to price. Focus on the present. Don't allow the past to deter your current executions. Okay, don't worry about the future. Let's just focus on the present. Okay, so first things first, let's get those likes up to 1K. You heard the man. If we can get to 1K, it sounds like we'll have another giveaway for everyone here. There's enough people in chat that if everybody hit the like button once, we'd essentially be there. So everybody hit the like button and we'll get another giveaway going for you. While we do that, I'll go over my analysis. We'll go over the assets that we watch, take a look at any trades, and even review prior trades. So let's take a look. I saw that earlier in the beginning segment that everybody got to take a look at the economic calendar already. One thing to say about that is, although there's no news on the economic calendar, we need to be aware of Trump and any information that he posts. Okay? We can clearly see how any of the trade talk news changes current price action. So that is something that we need to be aware of. Even though there's no news on the economic calendar, that doesn't mean that price can't continue to do what it's already doing, right? Volatility entered the market. It was very clear this morning. We had a beautiful push higher right off the open. Okay, so price can and will do whatever it wants, whenever it wants to. We do also have to understand the importance of opening times, right? 9:30, New York Open. Look how clear the volatility is during that time. Beautiful push higher. So you guys are going to think I'm quite repetitive. That's because I'm a long-term bull. There is reason and logic to my decision making, and we're going to go over that now. Already go ahead and say I'm looking for higher prices. We had a beautiful move higher this morning, and I'm still looking for targets higher. Here's the reason why. Right, price tapped into an imbalance here on the daily time frame. When price taps into a bullish FVG, that is something that gives me a bullish bias. On top of the current trend, right, we've been very decisively moving higher. We're making higher highs and higher lows. Right, ever since the low, we put in a new high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher low, higher high. Right, there's a very clear uptrend. Okay, so putting the trend aligned with the imbalance explains the bullish bias. Okay, and this is something that I say in my communities all the time. I'll say it here too. Trend is your friend until the end of the trend. Okay, the market doesn't care about how you feel. The market doesn't care about your opinion, and it's not going to listen to it. Okay, just because we've been moving higher, that does not mean that we need to reverse. Right? So for everybody that is trying to force shorts and be a bear during this very decisive uptrend, it's going to be very hard to do that. You're going to come across some losers if you're forcing shorts in this market. In my opinion, trend is your friend until the end of the trend. Stick with the trend. Okay? Look for positions to target that trend. So look for longs, right? So I don't even have to go over to ES. We can do all of our assets to get our biases for the day, but ES is going to have the same bias for the same exact reason. We're on the daily time frame. I get my bias from the daily time frame, and we can see how the imbalance is clearly providing support for higher prices. Okay, so I'll be looking for previous day high as a target. I have a bullish bias. We'll look for higher prices. Same thing here on NQ. Previous day high, and then you can also use Thursday's high. So targets for the day. All right, so that's NQ and ES. The bullish bias continues to be in play. I will not change that bias until there is something very clear and decisive stating otherwise. Okay, so The next thing that I kind of want to talk about is the downgrade from Moody's. I've slightly talked about this in the past, but news is simply just a volatility injection. It's something to move price. Okay. I don't get bias from the news. The only thing that news provides me is price moving more than it was before, right? Volatility. And the downgrade speaks to that, right? A lot of people would think that, a downgrade would be bearish. But look at the move we got this morning. Very bullish move. This goes to show what I'm trying to say here. That news is simply a volatility injection. It doesn't provide a bias. Right? For example, where are all those individuals that was screaming recession, right? During these limit down days? All the people, the market's crashing. We're going into a recession. That must have been like the shortest recession I've ever seen in my life, if that's the case. If that was a recession, then, I don't even know what a recession is then, because look at where we are now. So don't allow news to induce any kind of influence to your trading other than the fact that it provides volatility. That is where I'm going with the overall conversation. Okay. So along with NQ and ES, we'll head over to the dollar. It is inversely correlated to NQ and ES, so we need to keep track of the dollar as well. And the dollar is a very good example of how I determine bias. Okay, so the way that I determine bias, we can write it out here on screen for anybody that's looking to learn and continue to keep working with me daily. The way that I determine bias is getting on the daily chart and looking to see where price is currently located at the opening times. Okay. Price is only going to be located in 4 different locations for myself. If I could type. Let's see. The 4 locations that I use to create a bias: swing highs and bearish FEGs or imbalances, whatever you want to call them. Both of these create a bearish bias for myself. Then the other 2 locations, swing lows or bullish FEGs. Very simple, quick and easy. And having a bias helps you look for which position to be positioning in during the market. Right? So using this information here, this bearish move was very clear, right? Price was getting rejected from a bearish imbalance. So having a bearish bias here makes complete sense to me. And what you'd target is the swing lows or a bullish imbalance, right? You have a bullish imbalance here as well. So I had a bearish bias on the dollar, and it did a beautiful job moving to the target of the swing low here. Right now that that's been completed, I don't need to continue to force myself upon price. So now we have dollar, NQ, and ES. And then we could also take a look at one of the currencies, because euro is another good example of this. using the same exact logic, right? Price moved from a daily imbalance, right? Providing a clear bullish bias. And it moved to the swing high. So a very nice move here. The purpose of doing this is having a defined game plan, understanding how to operate in the market. And having a bias will allow you to know which positions to look for. And this morning, it paid nicely on NQ and ES. I mean, look at this move higher. We'll go down to a lower time frame now to look at this higher time frame imbalance and what happened at that location. All right, you're looking over 200-point move higher from that location. So you can see the logic there. Okay. So if you have any questions or comments regarding that information, feel free to throw it in chat. I could also get over to chat for some questions and comments, but we're going to go through this logic daily so that you understand how to create a game plan and execute that game plan. Ash, do you have a hard set bias for the day, or do you have a loose bias and switch it up midday? I create a game plan before the market opens, right? So I look to participate in the market during New York Open until about lunchtime. That's the time I've set for myself to execute. I create that game plan before I engage with the marketplace. So I go into the day. I'll take 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. to complete my analysis, obtain a bias, create a game plan. Then during 9:30, that's when I'm looking to execute that game plan. I'm not one of the individuals to be switching bias, every time price fluctuates. The reason for having a bias is to understand what type of position to look for. If you're consistently always changing your bias, you're not going to have conviction in an idea. Okay, so Ash, no questions, but I just want to say I've been struggling lately after everything was going so right, and coming here, listening to your mindset actually helps. You are great. Thank you, Cody. That is very kind of you to say that. Along with all the giveaways, we're going to go over the education segments as well. Anytime I take trades, we're going to go over those executions as well. I'm currently waiting on my live account to be processed. Once the live account is processed, then we're going to be executing here on stream as well. So there's more value to be provided. We're going to continue to keep going over this logic daily, creating a game plan, executing the game plan. Okay. While we do that, let's see where the likes are at. Let me refresh the stream so I can see how many likes we've gotten to. Amazing job. Looks like we did get to 1K likes. So Let's go back. Let me just double check what it was again. All right. So it looks like we made the deal. Very good job that everybody that hit the like button. Now that we hit 1K likes, we could set up the 50 Starter Plus account giveaway. The code is going on the screen now. Here's the code. 50. Catch 'em. I see what they did there. Gotta catch them all. 50 free Starter Plus accounts. The code is 50 catch 'em. That's for Ash Ketchum. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all. We made a deal. You guys made it to 1K. There's the giveaway. So we're going to continue to keep doing giveaways, providing education, showing execution, showing trades, the whole nine. So if you were able to get one of the free giveaways, throw a W in chat. We're going to continue to keep relentlessly providing as much value as we can daily. Bunch of W's. Congratulations once again for all the individuals that were able to get one of the giveaways. Congratulations. Now back to the conversation. So once again, bullish bias on NQ and ES. I will be looking for previous day high on those assets as a target. We went over how I create a bias, the logic to creating a bias. Now, on top of creating a bias, we need to know how to execute that bias. Okay, so executing that bias, you need to have some form of entry function, right? So my entry function, everybody already knows because we continue to go over it daily, is a breaker block plus an FVG. I call it the unicorn model. Right, so this is what a bullish entry is for me. Looks like this. Breaker block is a swing low, a swing high, a new swing low, then a new high. Then we have an FVG aligned with the breaker block. This is what a long would look like. Then we also have a short. A short is the same thing, just opposite. A swing high, a swing low, a new swing high, then a new low. And there has to be an FVG aligned with the breaker. This is what a short would look like for me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at one of the positions that occurred this morning. Here is GU, okay? The futures version of this. Oh, typed it in wrong. 6B, right? So you can trade currencies at MyFundedFutures. 6B would be the futures version of GU. Okay. Now let's take a look at that short entry. You can see it here. You have a swing high, a swing low, a new swing high, then a new low. Right? So we have a breaker block. The bearish breaker are the lowest down close candles before the leg up that took liquidity. These four candles here would be the bearish breaker. Then you can see the FVG that's aligned with the breaker right here. This is what a short looks like, right? This would be a short in GU. The way that I execute the short is entering from the beginning of the breaker with a stop at the high. All right, so at 7 a.m. here, this is New York time. At 7 a.m. here, you can see that this short entry was confirmed. So taking any one of these entries for a short position at 7:05, 7:10, 7:15, 7:20, 7:25, those are all short entries. Okay, and look how beautiful these short entries, look how much value this provided. Almost no drawdown here. And then we run to target, right? This is 1.1, excuse me, 1.5 R, and it goes to 2 R. You can make an absolute living aiming for 2 R each day. This is what a short looks like. Then, right, let's just pair this with the bias. Right? If you remember the bias conversation that I had this morning, talking about what creates a bias, you would have saw that swing highs create a bearish bias for me. Look at this swing high here, right? Price runs above a swing high, which would give you a bearish bias for today. Right? So then you can take a look at the lower time frame and see what happens when price goes above that swing high. So this is what I'm talking about understanding what type of position you're looking for. It gave you a lot of time to look for this short, right? Here's the swing high here. Here's the swing high here. Price runs above it. Now this is when you'd start looking for this right here. Right, the breaker plus FVG. Right, so now we could go in looking for that. Here's the first time it runs above a swing high, right? This is the first time it runs above a swing high, which would be this right here. Then we would need a candle closure below the breaker block for a breaker block to be created, right here. Notice how a new swing high is created right here. So I would no longer look at this one because a new swing high was swept right here. Once again, another new swing high was swept right here. So each time a new swing high is being swept, then I would be looking for a new breaker block. Once again, swing high. It gets swept. And then we finally get a candle closure below a breaker. This is the first time we get a candle closure below a breaker after a sweep. This would be the first moment that the unicorn model is confirmed. This is when you're looking to enter the short from the beginning of the breaker, stop at the high, aiming for 2R. Multiple entries given, one there, One there, another one, and then we start moving towards the objective. Beautiful move overall. So now you can put the entire conversation together, creating a bias, understanding what type of position to look for, then having a form of entry function to know how or when to engage with the marketplace. The last portion of the conversation is correctly position sizing. Right? This amount of room right here, right? Because we're going to enter at the beginning of the breaker and the stop is going to be at the high. This amount of room right here needs to be the correct amount of risk for what you're willing to risk on the day. That's where position sizing comes in hand. Make sure your position sizing to fit your risk tolerance. And everybody has their own risk tolerance. So there is no right or wrong number. There's no right or wrong position size. That is a risk tolerance. So that's dependent upon the individual. So if you check any of my feeds, any of my socials, you'll see that any of my executions are using this model. The reason why I use this model is because it's a defined edge. It defines the risk. So it simply comes down to executing. It's not a matter of trying to predict what's going to happen next. It's not, you're never going to know what's going to happen next. Price can and will do whatever it wants whenever it wants to. This is why we need to have justifications to our actions. We need to define our edge, we need to define our risk, and then we need to execute. There is no telling what's going to happen next. You define an edge, you define a risk, and you execute. If you properly risk to reward is what provides the progress in the long run. And we're going to have a conversation about that. For example, let's see if anybody knows. If you have a 1 to 2 fixed risk to reward, what type of win rate do you need to have? To be profitable, if you're using a 1 to 2 risk to reward, what type of win rate do you need to have? Exactly. Very good job for all the responses. Between 35 to 40% win rate, which goes to show you that you don't need to win all the time. In a business where losing is inevitable, you need to have risk management on your side to help with those losses. In this business, losing is inevitable. That's why we need to focus on risk management. Okay, so there's 4 different outcomes. A large win or a large loss. A small win or a small loss. Okay? Here's your 4 outcomes in this business. We're talking about risk to reward now. Here's your 4 different outcomes. we can never have a large loss. Okay, so get rid of this instantaneously. If you have large losses, you're going to be blowing accounts. You cannot have a large loss. How do you not have a large loss? By defining your edge, defining your risk, and having strict risk to reward. You cannot have a large loss. That's what blows accounts. Months of hard work can disappear within seconds by having a large loss. You cannot have a large loss. This is not acceptable. If you want to blow accounts, be my guest, but I don't want to. So I'm going to do everything I need to not have a large loss. Right? On a 50K expert account at MyFundedFutures, you get, what is it, $2,500 of drawdown? You can't have a $2,500 loss. Plain and simple. You'll blow the account. You cannot have a large loss. Okay, so how do we do that? By defining our edge, defining our risk. Then we need to position size correctly. We can't over leverage ourselves. Okay? Stop trying for instant gratification. If you're trying to get to a certain outcome in a shortened period of time, that unrealistic result is going to end in a large loss. Stop forcing yourself upon the market. Position size correctly. Submit to time. Stop looking for instant gratification. You won't be here for long if you do. Plain and simple. Okay, so position size correctly and be overly impatient with your losers, right? Very easy saying to go with this. You either need to be right or right out. Get out of the position if you're wrong. You're either right or right out. You have to be overly impatient with losers. Your emotions need to be aligned with this. Your mental intelligence needs to be aligned with this. Because the outcomes that we can accept, small losses, small wins, large wins. These are acceptable outcomes. But the thing with these outcomes is small wins are going to be counteracted by small losses. These two things are going to cancel each other out. Your small wins are going to cancel out by small losses. And this is going to happen because losses are inevitable in this business. You only need about a 40% win rate at a 1 to 2 risk to reward to be profitable. So if you're losing majority of the time, these will cancel each other out. Okay, so now the last option is large wins. How do we obtain large wins? Being overly patient with our winners. By position sizing correctly so that our emotions or mental intelligence doesn't scare us out of positions. Like, collect the data. Go and collect the data. How long do you hold your winners? How long do you hold your losers? If you're not holding your winners longer than your losers, I think the results will speak for itself. You have to be overly patient with your winners. You do that by defining your edge, defining your risk, and executing that game plan. This is what I'm showing everybody daily, every single week, is how to create that game plan, how to execute that game plan, how to define that risk. This is what makes progress right here. This is what makes progress right here. So you need to have the mental and emotional intelligence to allow this to occur. You can't get scared out of positions the moment they turn green because you don't want to be red. Collect the data to gain the conviction in your executions. That's what it comes down to. Have the patience and submit to time. Don't try to jam your stop loss to break even the very moment you turn green, because then all your wins are going to end up being small wins. And just realize what is realistic versus unrealistic. A 40% win rate makes sense. If you're trying to obtain a 90% win rate, an 80% win rate, those unrealistic expectations are going to induce emotions that are going to deter your risk management. Okay, so we're going to have to keep talking about game plans. We're going to have to keep talking about risk management. We're going to have to go over this mental and emotional intelligence so that we can execute. And then we come in here creating a game plan and executing that game plan daily to build that muscle memory. So for anybody that's looking to relentlessly work and learn with me, this is where I'll be doing it. We'll be doing this here daily. Okay, so now that we got through the conversation I was looking to have today, we can take some time to go over some questions and answers. I already went through my biases, so you know what I'm looking for in terms of price action, right? So ES and NQ, just consolidating now. I did a beautiful job moving higher this morning. Here's the previous day highs that I had mentioned for a target. So this is what I'm looking at in terms of a target. Okay. Same thing with ES. Okay, I left it still on here from earlier. Previous day high, target. Beautiful job bouncing from the daily imbalance. And now we target previous day high. Okay, as of right now, it's just doing some consolidating. That's fine. For any individuals that are curious to why they can't communicate with us, you have to sub to the channel. The chat is sub-only mode. Okay, so if you're finding any value from all the giveaways, all the trades that we go over, all of the educational content that we have, do us a favor, like the video, sub to the channel, turn the notifications on. That way you can see when we go live again. We're doing this daily, each week. Now we got another 15 minutes before my segment comes to a close. So again, let's do some questions and answers now as we're waiting. Throw any questions or comments in chat and I'll head over there now and we'll go over them. Do you have a channel? Yeah, so if you take a look at the screen name, it is right here. I'm _Ash_trades_ on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram, and in Discord. This is what I do every single week. I've been doing it for close to a decade now. So if any of those channels provide any value, go ahead and check out those feeds. I've been trading ever since I came to the market. Day trading is what I do. I look to position myself intraday. I look to make profits from day trading to then support my long-term positions. I'm a long-term bull in the stock market. I'm a long-term bull in the crypto market. I am a long-term bull in the real estate market. Those are the markets I deal with. I look to make profits from day trading to accumulate those long-term positions. How do you position size on evals? How does it change during SimFunded? Divide your drawdown by 10. Whatever account you're trying to use, divide your drawdown by 10. That would be the risk that I would be willing to take per trade. Do you have any advice for someone who feels like trading's not going to work out? I'm losing motivation. Failing is something that's going to happen in this business. This is quite literally one of the hardest businesses to run in the world. So you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to understand that every single experience is a learning opportunity. You cannot allow one experience to define you or your emotions or your mental state. In a business where losing is inevitable, you have to be willing to fail forward. And I always use professional athletes when that question comes across. Like, take any professional athlete. LeBron James, he's, the best basketball player right now. LeBron James has missed so many shots during his time of playing basketball. He's missed more shots than he's made. Yet he's the best basketball player there is. So the purpose behind that comment is you have to fail forward. You have to fail as many times as possible so you can collect as much data as possible so you can learn from it and build that muscle memory. What's the average of a MLB? Let me phrase that properly. The batting average of a professional baseball player. What's the average batting average? A professional baseball player, on average, has about a .250 batting average. That means a quarter of the time he actually gets a base hit or any type of hit. So 1 out of every 4 times he succeeds, whereas majority of the time he fails, yet they're professionals. That's the difference. People that are capable of failing and continue to work just as hard as they were after they failed is the reason why they're professionals. They continue to focus at a very high caliber all of the time. Every time they fail, that doesn't deter them from working hard and focusing on their business. So what's the difference here? What makes this any different? What makes this business any different from that? These guys are failing 3 out of every 4 attempts, and they're professional athletes. They fail majority of the time. You have to be willing to fail and continue to give your next attempt the respect and focus that it deserves. Very good question. Very good question. Very good question. How do you become so disciplined to either call it a day with no trades taken or like one trade taken? Data. This has got to be coming from your data, right? Like, go through your data and do you have enough data to prove the results, right? You should have multiple years worth of data. If you're collecting data and you have less than a year of data, then you don't have accurate data. You need to have a year at least or multiple years of data showing you your statistics. Then you need to analyze that data objectively. Okay? And you'll see things like that within your data. On days that you take 5 trades, what are those results compared to days that you only take 1 trade? Right? The discipline comes from being objective to your data. If in your data, it shows you that all the days that you only take 1 trade, you end up being green on that day, seems like you only need to take 1 trade a day. So the answer to being disciplined is being objective to your data, having enough data to provide conviction. And if you don't have enough data, that's where you show up daily to collect it. Ash, what did you feel when you realized that you were really starting to achieve your trading goals? So I've had multiple 4-figure payouts. I've had multiple 5-figure payouts. I've even had 6-figure payouts. They all feel the same. In my opinion, the focus needs to be on the process. The process is greater than the outcome. You have to be so in tune with your process that you allow the results to be a byproduct of it. You should be executing your process the same way of when you have 4-figure payouts as when you have 5-figure payouts as when you have 6-figure payouts. It's the same process the entire time. Right? You need to have the same emotional control during 4-figure payouts as 5-figure payouts, as 6-figure payouts. It's all the same thing. It's just compounded. The process doesn't change. Very good question. So we have another 7 minutes here before we wrap up the stream. We'll go over a couple more questions. What's my largest payout ever? I had a $100,000 withdrawal. That was my largest. How do you determine to yourself that you're in a losing trade? How long do you wait to cut it? Losing trade is when price hits invalidation. So here's my entry function right here. We're looking at a long position. The breaker block is always found in the initial swing low to initial swing high. So the breaker block will always be found in this leg here. And I need to have an FEG aligned with the breaker. This is what a long position looks like for me. Invalidation to this idea is the swing low. So I enter at the beginning of the breaker block, I put a stop at the low, and I aim for 2R. Okay, so how I know I'm in a losing trade is when price hits invalidation. right? Here's my invalidation to my idea. If price hits invalidation, I'm in a losing trade. I've lost. All right, so we could take a look at oil. There is a setup on oil that can explain this, right? So here's a current setup. Take a look at this, right? Same thing. Swing low, swing high, new low, new high. Same thing that I continue to keep preaching, right? A bullish breaker will always be an up close candle. Here's the bullish breaker. I must have an FEG aligned with the breaker. Here's the FEG. Okay, so entry occurs at the beginning of the breaker. Stop loss goes at the low. Aim for 2R. Right, so invalidation to this hourly unicorn on oil would be if price hit this low. That's how I would know that's a losing position. Very good question. Right, and this goes along with the bias as well. We spoke about how I determine bias in the beginning of the stream. Take a look here. Price tapped into a daily bullish FEG and multiple of them. Right, here's another one here. After it tapped into the FEG, it created the entry function. See right here. Providing a bullish bias. After you get that bullish bias, you can see the entry function. So I'll be looking for higher prices on oil with that entry function.
Ash, what's going on, man?
There he is. Luke, how are you doing?
I'm here to spice things up.
Well, those glasses are very spicy, so
They're
you might have
spicy.
already
You like
done
this?
that.
Nothing like sunglasses, blue sunglasses, fake Cardi buffs.
Love
Inside, headset on. How about this? Chat, we're going to spice it up. If 10 people put the number 1 in the chat, Ash is going to force a full port trade. So you need to see if 10 people put a 1 in the chat, you'll force a full port trade.
Full port the live account.
Unless that doesn't align with your trading philosophy.
I will not be doing that.
You won't?
No, that is not how I operate. I want to keep that live account, so I plan on keeping the account.
All right. Well, I was here to try to spice things up for you guys, okay? How did it go, Ash?
Very good. Great conversation today. Over 1K likes, too. We hit the goal once again. Chat had phenomenal questions and comments, so thank you, everybody, for your time. Amazing session. We'll be doing this again tomorrow as well.
What? Tomorrow?
We are right
What
back
time?
here tomorrow.
10:30 Eastern?
Stream starts at New York Open, and then my segment starts at 10:30. So we will be going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
All right. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, now is your chance to do so. The last chance to do so. And Ash, can I tell you about our weekly promo real quick? It's crazy.
I would love to hear it. This one's a very surprising one. A lot of value here in this one.
All right. So we're people of the people. Last week, we gave away some experts. This week, with code YouTube, any account you buy, Expert, Starter, Starter Plus, etc., comes with a free reset. So you buy an account, you get a free reset. As simple as that. Double your shots at passing your eval and getting towards Ash's level. How's that?
I mean, free reset within the first purchase is incredible.
Woo! All right. So with that, I will see you tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern here, Ash. Thanks for hanging out with us, and happy trading, everyone.
Have a nice day, everyone.